This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
This table is really tilted.
Excuse me? Am I gonna get a chance to speak?
Maybe I should take that back.
Denied. Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Take a giant step for mankind.
Welcome to the Tilted Table with your hosts, Sean and Joe.
Corey Hart, sunglasses at night. There's a classic for you. Oh my lord. Folks, welcome to another episode of The Tilted Table, the internet's answer to a question that no one asked. I am Sean Landon Clark, at least for a few more episodes, or maybe this is the last of it. Who the fuck knows?
I don't know, man. It's the international man of mystery. And I am Joey Joe, the Fracky Mac.
And today we are going to discuss things that you hated as a child that as an adult you are passionate about or that you like. Is that where we're going with this?
I think so, man.
Okay, cool, yeah.
I mean, the first thing that came to mind when we were bouncing this idea is as a kid, my parents would say, they're like, hey, kids, like jump in the car. We're going to go to the nursery and look at plants. And I just remember thinking, like, how awful is that? And then you just like, you're wandering up and down the aisles, in this giant outdoor yard, not looking for anything in particular. You don't want to be there. You're going to have the pleasure of getting to help plant and dig trenches or things for the entire rest of the day. And that's going to be considered your family fun time.
Yeah.
But fast forward now today, I mean, there's a place, here where we live, Evergreen, that I love going to visit. And I think it's quite delightful to talk to the people that work there and how intelligent they are. And this is the one thing I know that things that I didn't like when I was a kid. Now these conversations happen with, sir, can I help you with something? Wait, yeah, I'm looking for a succulent. It's going to be facing like a northwest, like partial sun, semi-damp soil, little overhang. I needed to endure, Fresno summers around 110 degrees. What kind of options do you have for me? And like actually doing that for about an hour, I actually really enjoy it.
Oh, okay.
And then unlike being a kid and having to go dig trenches for the rest of the day, I find a lot of satisfaction. So yeah, going to nurseries now is totally a thing.
Yeah, I can see that. I go to Gazebo Gardens. But
that's a cool place.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
They also have bands and they serve beer, so maybe that's maybe that's the reason I like going there.
Oh no, at Evergreen they've got a bunch of nursery cats. Okay. So there's like rescue cats, and it's almost like a Where's Waldo type of deal. As you're wandering around, you try and like spot the cat wherever it is. I want to say they have like 5 or 6 of them.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't think. Gazebo Gardens is right next to the train tracks. I do see stray animals. I don't think maybe they are adopted animals by that place. But yeah, I have a lot of plants at my other house, and I did all the kind of landscaping. So for a period of time, I was going to nurseries quite a bit. Yeah, as a kid, I would have hated something like that. I don't recall my parents ever taking me to one, but we really didn't have plants where I lived, and we lived in trailer parks, not the most plant friendly environment. And when we did get a house, I think by then, they had moved towards the whole, what do you call it? The drought resistant kind of landscaping. So there were plants already planted, like there might be cacti or something like that. And there wasn't really any need to go out and redo it.
Maintenance, yanking out the perennials and all that kind of stuff. So
I can't remember a time my mother ever took me to, a nursery, but she did take me to some place. She did it a bunch of times. As an adult, I realized why she did this. In hindsight, I know why she did this, that I hated, but now it's something that I really love to do. At one point, it was before my parents got divorced, so I was in the 7th grade. So I don't know this at the time, right? I don't know that this marriage is, ending soon. My mother would every weekend for probably at least a solid 6 months, could have been longer than that, we're going to go look at houses.
Oh, that's also on my list, but keep going.
Yeah, and so we would go to these tract housing places and we would tour all these homes. And I remember hating that part of it because I had no interest in this. And I didn't really know why my mom was doing it. I think I assumed what I think most kids my age would assume, that, oh, maybe my parents are thinking about buying a new house. Why I have to be dragged along, I didn't know. My brother went a couple of times, but for some reason, my mother, I guess I was more malleable to it. My brother was kind of a pain in the ass. He probably fought her. I didn't fight my mother like that. So if she said, hey, we're going somewhere, I was pretty much, what do you call it, the obedient child. Where I would just go, okay, let's go. And we would go look at these houses, and there was just a lot of walking and from house to house. And of course, as a kid, I really can't tell the difference between these places. They, square footage of a room versus, this got my kitchen nook over here. Whatever the layouts are, this means nothing to me. They all kind of just look the same. And but I think she was definitely priming at least one of her children to figure out what house that I might like, because I'm going to divorce your dad, and this is where we're going to be moving into one of these houses. So, as an adult, I mean, I dabbled in the world of real estate, and I'm constantly looking on, Zillow and other websites, and I love checking out houses.
See, I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. So you did take one item off my list. As a kid, we family be driving around and running normal errands on the weekend. And then one of my parents would be like, hey, let's stop in this new construction development. Let's check out model houses. And it was just like, man. And then you go in, and they'd have like this terrible plastic fruit. It wasn't a TV, but it was like a cardboard box that was like printed to look like a TV.
Yeah, I remember those.
It smelled weird. And then you'd like mope from one room to the next room. And then it was like, okay, let's go to the next one. You're like, geez, there's 6 of these. How long are we going to be here?
Yeah.
And my parents weren't the type to let us like just hang out in the car. And my brother and I were big readers, so we would have just read a book in the car. But fast forward to today, professionally, I am in real estate, and I still dislike looking through model houses. It probably as much or as little as I did as a kid. I still same that same mentality to this day. I can't do it.
Were you referring to specifically model houses?
Model houses.
Or just houses in general?
I think model houses. I mean, houses in general, I think it's kind of cool because people have like mostly, hopefully, fingers crossed, like personalized it, done what they could, like little knickknacks, and I think that can be kind of interesting. Okay. It's not something I actively seek out.
Well, I mean, if you go, to certain parts of town where, the houses are really old, or they're custom built from, 50, 60, 70 years ago, or even 30 or 40 years ago, there's a lot of cool houses. But you're right, the typical kind of tract housing models. That, who wants to see that shit?
And then there's always the sales associate. It's like, man, I know you're trying to do your job and be nice and be welcoming, but no, I don't care about like what fit and finish you have in the shower and the guest bathroom in the hallway. Like, I just, get me out of here. So as far as like things that I didn't like as a kid that I still dislike to this day, that would be the one. Model houses.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is it my turn or your turn? I just did one, right?
No, yeah, it's fire away, man. I know I've got a whole arsenal of these things.
Okay, I'll give you one. And this one's going to be kind of a strange one. When people cancel plans. As a kid, I hated it. As an adult, fucking A, man.
Yeah, living your best life.
I don't want to go out with you tonight.
Exactly. It's like, wait, I was supposed to meet you at 8, and then you're as a kid, you're like, oh, the night's just getting started. And now it's like you get that cancellation text message, and you just do the double fist pump.
Like, yes, didn't want to go do that anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember one time we were supposed to go visit my grandmother, and it was and she lived in L.A. And getting on the road, and we're driving towards L.A. and my mother was really ill. She had the flu, and we made it about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 miles. Or pulling over, she's throwing up. And my dad was just like, all right, well, this is just not going to happen. We got to go home. And I remember being really, really upset over this. Like, well, I wanted to go see grandma. Da, da, da. And now as an adult, I just not too long ago, I had plans to go meet with somebody. And I was all about it. When I set the plan up, it was like it was like a Monday or Tuesday. Let's get together on Saturday. But as Friday comes along and everything's cool, Saturday comes in. I'm doing a bunch of work, and I'm realizing, like, oh man, I got to get this stuff done before Monday. Like everything else, adulting shit. And I'm just like, shit, man, I'm going to have to get ready for this to go hang out. And I just was looking at it as how much of, my Saturday is going to end at 6. And I'm getting nothing done until I get up on Sunday morning.
Right.
And yeah, they sent me a message, and he's just like, dude, I can't, hook up tonight. And I was just like, fuck yeah.
Did you give yourself a high five?
I gave myself a high five. Like, all right.
Yeah, you get to camp out on the couch and watch TV or do a whole bunch of nothing. Yeah, living your best life.
I could be corrected if I was better at organizing my time. I'm decent at it, but I could definitely be better at organizing, my time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally feel that one. Yeah, whenever Cookie lets me know that plans have been canceled at the last minute, I'm never, it's always, with friends, it's like, oh man, I was looking forward to seeing them, but okay,
yeah.
Moving on. We can always do that next time. One of the, I guess on my list, visiting the power tool section at like Home Depot or Lowe's or Lumberjack or any of those types of places. Mm-hmm. As a kid, my dad, I'd kind of tag along with my dad, and he'd be like looking at saws. Look at this Sawzall. Look at this drill. Look at this chop saw. Ooh, this is an articulating chop saw. Are you a Makita person? Are you a DeWalt person? A Craftsman? And I was like, man, we're not even working on anything. Why are we standing here looking at all these random power tools? Well, fast forward to today. I totally enjoy looking at those power tools, and I'd say all of the tools that I buy are DeWalt. I don't know if it's just because of the color yellow or the fact that I'm a completist. I can't mix and match like other, tool equipment, right? It doesn't look right if I'm working on a project and I got a yellow DeWalt chop saw and I got a blue Makita drill on the side. Like that doesn't work. So
that's not completist. That's OCD. Completist is more collecting something, not
maybe
power tools.
A smidge. And it's funny though because I've actually kind of timed myself as I walk down that aisle at Lowe's or Home Depot, and I'll just like look at what time it is, and then when I'm meandering over to the checkout line, I'll like look back down at my watch and I'll see how long was I wandering through there, and I'm like, oh geez, that was like 25 minutes, and I didn't buy anything. So yeah, the things that I hated, that random dad not buying anything now to me trying to complete the whole set.
I don't have any memories of going to hardware stores like that as a kid. My dad was not a DIY guy, so I didn't do any of that stuff with him. I don't recall. I mean, I'm sure I did. I mean, come on. I probably went to a hardware store with my dad, I'm sure dozens of times. But as an adult, I like going through Home Depot and Lowe's. I could spend hours in those places. Mm-hmm. You're going to get all these kind of wild ideas. Again, when I bought my house, my first house, it was a rental that was, pretty beat up, and it was just a basic house. And so I had all these wild ideas about, I'm going to build like this barbecue thing outside. I'm going to build this fire pit, and I'm going to do this thing inside. And I'm going to change this about the cat. So I had a really good time with all that kind of stuff. So I love going to the hardware store. And because it's just like you just walk down any aisle and you get like a million ideas. Like, oh shit, that's what I need to do next. I got to build that or put that together.
Well, and the funny thing is, you go into those stores and you're like, oh, I need to get like Roundup. I'm doing some yard work or whatever, and then like $400 later in a full shopping cart, you're pushing through the parking lot. Yeah.
You've got willpower if you can go to a hardware store and only buy the thing that you went there to buy.
Never happens, man. Because if you're standing in that aisle and you're like, a mop for the shop. Oh yeah, I totally need that one.
Oh yeah.
And then you glance over to the side, you're like, huh. Yeah, I do need a giant push broom, and I gotta have the pan that goes with the push broom. Mm-hmm. I already have one, but that one's kind of jacked. I need something new. Yeah. So yeah, it's funny because the credit card the Cookie and I use for this stuff, like it sends you like a notification on your phone, and she'll immediately call, as soon as she sees that the number on the charge come through, and she's like, I thought you went there for a single thing of Roundup. What is this $700 later? For I think my last funny purchase was a Sawzall that I don't even think I've ever even used it. I was like, oh, that looks cool. It's a 1,000 horsepower Sawzall. I need to take down a wall sometime.
Yeah, that's a problem when you're buying tools with no specific, the project in mind.
You never know though, right? If that time comes up, you don't want to be like, oh, pause. Let me drive over there and get that thing that I should have gotten once upon a time.
Well, I'm a cheap son of a bitch, so for me, but yeah, I'm gonna wait until I absolutely need the tool, and I'll probably spend like an hour in my garage looking for something that could possibly do the same thing. I've done that a billion times. Like, yeah, I could use this. I think it'll accomplish the same goal I'm looking at. Probably take me twice as long and won't do it as well, but yeah, we'll go with it.
Yeah, it's kind of jerry rig something, you know. I know this tool isn't meant to do this, but I'm going to see if it works, kind of a deal.
Shoot, that's my life on Saturdays half the time, trying to figure out if I can pull that off. So one of the things that I hated as a kid that I actually enjoy a lot as an adult is grilling.
Ooh, okay.
When I was a kid, my dad was just a freako grill guy, and so it was like every meal. If he could, he would grill cereal if he could get away with it, and he just loved to grill food. And of course, you know, this is, you know, in the 80s, I know they had like things like propane already, but I don't know if it was just that sort of, you know, old school.
Weber.
It was going to be charcoal, or it was going to be wood chips or some other fancy. At one point, he got into this weird shit where he was experimenting with all this different kinds of
wood.
Woods. And I remember one time he'd gotten his hands on old grapevines. And turn that into some kind of like, you know, flavoring for the charcoal. I don't know. My dad was he would do this kind of stuff constantly, but you know, when you're a kid and you're hungry or you're getting close to that point, the whole process of grilling food seemed to take forever, and I hated it. And it's just like, well, when's dinner gonna be ready? Oh, in another hour, we're gonna have it. Whatever.
Yeah,
like an hour. Like,
didn't you start marinating last night?
Yes, that was that whole process. As an adult, I get it. It's one of my favorite things to do. Man, there's nothing better than like, yeah. I mean, and this is how I see it. Like, you could easily, let's say, you order something from like a DoorDash or whatever, and you can have your food pretty quick, and it's good food, and eat it, and you'll be fine. But I do appreciate the process of, you know, taking a cut of meat and vegetables and seasoning them and doing all that stuff to it, firing up the grill, letting that thing rock for a minute. You're going. And I think a lot of it has to do with it's a big chill moment. You know,
I can see that.
Yeah, so it's like you're hanging out. It's nice outside. I'm having a beer. I'm listening to some tunes. It's seemingly more relaxing to cook that way to me.
Very
because
zen.
I don't feel like, you know, I got 50 pots on a stove and I'm running around trying to get this done and all that kind of stuff. It's very, it's you know, very cathartic.
I can see that. And it's funny how many guys like hit, you know, you're my age, and they've got like the green egg, they've got the smoker, they've got the Weber, and you go in their backyard and like, what are you running a restaurant out here? Like, what's going on? They're like, everything has a time and a place that you got to use it. Yeah. Right tool, right job.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, I totally dig it. I just think it's one of the more relaxing things to do. And it wasn't even like maybe not this last Friday, but the Friday before, a couple of friends of mine, they after work, they said, let's go out and, you know, happy hour and go have a drink. And I'm like, cool. So I'm hanging out and I have my first beer and things are going great. It's fine. And it's like, I don't know, 6 o'clock ish. Right. And it's like 6:30 and 7. I have my second drink, and I might have a third if I'm out, but I never go over 3. So yeah, I got to drive. So we're done with the second one, and you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, we're hanging out, but there's nothing special going on. We're just hanging out, and I'm starting to get hungry, and I'm thinking like maybe I should order some food, and it just hits me. I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm going to leave this place as soon as I'm done with this drink. I'm going to go down to the store. I'm going to buy me a fucking badass steak. I'm going to go straight home. I'll fire up the grill, and I'll grab a beer at home where I can drink and not drive. And, oh, man, I couldn't wait to get out of that bar fast enough. I'm sitting there going like, yep. I'm just drinking, talking to these guys, going like, how much money I got left? I got another 5 minutes of that thing. And I'm like, here, I want to pay my bill. Oh, you're leaving already? Yeah, I got to get out of here.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah.
Totally drove straight to the store.
I think that's a piece of like men's Americana these days.
Oh yeah,
time on the grill, and then most people even have like their favorite butcher shop to go to. Like, you know, I don't know if you've been to the meetup here in town.
I've never been to that. I've been to the meat market a bunch of times. Yeah, but the meetup is. Somebody just pointed that out to me.
Dude, it's legendary, man. Like
is that near Barstow and Palm?
That's Herndon and Marks.
See, I'm not even close. on the other side of town.
No, I understand that. That's when you know you've officially hit some degree of middle age, is when you've got your favorite, you got your meat guy.
Yeah, your butcher.
Yeah, just don't do the guy that like rolls through the neighborhood with the ice chest in the back. That's like, trying to sling some black market meat like that. That probably won't end well.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw, was it Omaha Steaks? You can order steaks in the mail. My first thought was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me! I'm not ordering nothing, steaks in the mail.
No can do.
2 weeks of it traveling through, a bunch of back of a UPS truck or whatever the hell it is. I know they obviously ice them up and whatnot, but when I first saw it, I thought that was so weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Leave a like on the video. I know you're enjoying this. Can you shut up?
The internet's answer to a question that was never asked. The Tilted Table with Sean and Joe.
One of my other favorite things to do, like growing up, my mom would say, like, "Hey, let's go for a walk." I'm like, "Where?" "Oh, we're gonna go down the road." "Well, why do we have somebody to see down there, or what's going on?" "No, we're just gonna go outside and walk around." Like, that just seems dumb. And it would be like I haven't, I'm 10 years old or whatever, and have an attitude, and I'm dragging my feet.
Of course.
Oh my gosh, why are we there yet? Well, fast forward today, and I do 5 miles every morning, 7 days a week, and it's like a critical part of my daily routine. Get my head space right. It's my hour of like prayer, reflection, and I think it goes even deeper. Is it takes an immense amount of discipline.
Yeah.
To always do something, kind of like you and me and having fun with our podcast. Like we're in it. We don't miss. We have a great time with it, and it's such a part of our discipline that I think it speaks to the person's character.
Yeah.
So like, walking. Whenever people ask, like, do you have a route? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that you talk to along the way? Yes. At this point, I kind of feel like the mayor of our neighborhood. I know what cars should be at certain places at certain time. I know people's work schedules. I know who has kids, who doesn't have kids. I know who's retired. I know who the elderly folks are that might need some help moving something. And it's great, man. So going from like throwing a total attitude when my mom would say we need to go for a walk down the road to now, 6 a.m. I'm on the street, tactical vest, ready to rock.
Wow. Yeah. It's so funny because I'm so on point and being consistent with going to the gym. But I like walking, and I've had bouts where I was walking every day, but I can never keep it consistent. I've actually struggled the last couple of months with walking. Every time I get up in the morning, I don't know if it's a sun thing, like it's dark outside. I do not, everything in my being is like, why the fuck would I go out walking right now? It's just not even
quiet,
light outside.
man. It's peaceful. I think there's something to be said when 99.9% of the people will say nope, and you're the 0.1% that's out there like getting their grind on.
Yeah, I dig it. I like it. I just have not been able to figure out a consistent schedule that works for me with walking. And and it's weird because I've got a consistent schedule with the gym. And other things, obviously, even like the podcast, like we're consistent with it. And walking isn't terribly taxing. Some people would, I think, argue that it's probably a lot easier to go walking every day versus going to the gym every day.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I still struggle with trying to find consistency with walking. And even today, I was thinking, like, here it is. It's Tuesday. Every Sunday, you say, like, this is the fucking week I'm going to do it. I'm going to start walking every day. At least walk 2 miles, and I still have not been able to make that happen.
Yeah, man.
But like I said, there were times in the recent times where I was doing it pretty much every day, and it's just like you miss one day, you miss the next, and then it's been 3 days, and you're like, wait, when's the last time I walked? It's been 3 days. Oh, I'll go tomorrow, and then the next thing you know, it's been days. It's been weeks.
People just being people at that point, right? Yeah. Well, it's awesome. It helps with your cardiovascular. It helps reduce like any chronic health diseases.
It's one of the best things you could do.
Yeah, man, and it's free. You literally don't need to go anywhere. You just walk out the front door and just don't stop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Yeah, I like walking.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. See, now I have to live up to this new goal I'm going to set, which is I got to start walking at least every other day to start. If I can't do it every day, I got to do it every other day.
Yeah, shoot, fire up this own podcast and listen to yourself while you walk.
Yeah, I don't know. See, that seems weird to me. But why not?
I've done it before. I gotta check the quality of what we're doing.
I'm funny and charming. I should listen to myself.
There's some people that ask, like, think you're listening to some David Goggins motivational speech. And you're like,
God.
No, I'm just listening to my 1-900 number voice.
Oh, shit. All right, I'll give you one that I think is universal.
All right.
Showering. Kids hate doing it. Adults love it. I think adults hope so.
Oh, yeah, dude. I shower twice a day. I've done that since I was a kid.
Oh, so you do it twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still more of a one time a day. I will do it twice if I go to the gym, but I only go to the gym every other day.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, tonight I'm going to the gym, so I'll take a shower before I go to bed. But, yeah, I think that as a kid, and I don't know why kids are so anti taking a shower. Most everything about a shower feels relatively good. Who doesn't like warm water? You know, you're clean. Who did not hate feeling gross?
You sleep better. You feel better.
Yeah.
You're ready to roll. You look good. You feel good.
Yeah.
You act good.
But, yeah, as a kid, yeah, I remember my parents just fighting me constantly. Like, you got to take a shower. I don't want to. You know, you said, oh, fucking shit. Now it's like I get up in the morning. It's like one of the things that I look forward to doing. Like, I'm half asleep. I'm groggy. Like, oh, man. And that leads me into the other thing that I hated as a kid that I love as an adult, which is coffee. Coffee straight into the shower with my cup of coffee. I drink coffee in the shower.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, totally. That's like it's like the greatest combination. Two things, a double whammy.
Yeah, smoking in the shower is weird, but coffee in the shower is not a problem.
Well, I think if you're smoking in the shower, it must be like 1940s or something.
That's my grandma, man.
Yeah.
She chain smoked. She had an ashtray on the top rail of the shower. It was you know, I think that by itself was a little on the sketchy side. You know, it's great in the shower though, like especially if you've had a long day, you've had a great workout, is having a beer in the shower.
It's been a long time since I've done that.
Dude, shower beers are the best.
It's been a long time since I've done that. And the times I have done it is like one of those weird days where I got up at like 5 a.m. I got a bunch of stuff I got to do, mostly like housework.
Well, I'm not saying like at 5 a.m.
No,
shower
dude,
beer.
no, I'm not talking about having an actual beer at 5 a.m.
There's meetings for that.
No, yeah, there is meetings. No, it's not that. You'll let me finish. So what I'm saying is that you get up like 5 a.m. You got all this crap to do. It's mostly housework. So I'm not taking a shower until probably 3, 4, 5. You know, because I got to do all this housework. I'm gonna be outside doing yard work or something like that. And then after that long day, and then now it's like, now I get to relax, probably fire up the barbecue. So you know where I'm going with this, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I got to take a shower. And so I'll crack a beer and jump in the shower with the beer. That's probably the last time I did that. And it's been a while since I've done something like that. Yeah.
With what you just shared, I categorize that as like a small joy in life. You know, when you're tired, you've got a sense of accomplishment. You know, you got a super hot shower, and then, you know, like Cookie will pass me a beer through the door, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, and I think at any point when you think about having a drink, and usually at the end of the day after you accomplish a bunch of stuff, that's rewarding in itself. Mm-hmm. But add a hot shower to it, and it's just amplifies it by at least 10.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that you hit on that I've got like 2 sub bullet points of this. I can hit just one of them. Is doing yard work. So as a kid, I remember I was a huge football fan. I forget what Super Bowl it was. The Buffalo Bills were playing, so 1990 something.
Yeah, one of the 4.
And it was the first quarter of the Super Bowl. I'm all fired up, and it was pouring rain, and my dad had a pallet of sod that was outside, and he was like, "All right, Joe, let's go outside, and we're gonna roll out sod." I'm like, "Now? Like in the middle of the Super Bowl? It just started." And I was very indignant. It was raining so hard that for the ground that we were laying the sod on, we used concrete trowels
Oh shit.
That's how rainy it was. But to this day, I'm very thankful that I had that experience, because here we are 30 something years later talking about like me in the rain with the trowel rolling out grass. But one of my favorite things to do now is trim my roses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll put on my podcast or some music, and I have a bunch of rose trees, and just making like the ball of the rose tree like perfectly symmetrical. What do you call it? Like a topiary?
Yeah.
And I'll get to the point. It's you used a word earlier. I guess I don't disagree with neurotic or OCD-ish.
Yeah.
I'll like stand across the yard and I'll put my finger out in front, or my thumb out in front of me like a painter. And I'm looking at that ball and I'm making sure like I'm rotating around the tree to make sure it's a perfect sphere. It's great, man. I as a kid, if my family was like, "Hey Joe, you got to go do yard work and trim the roses," I would have been like, come on.
Oh.
And now like, shoot, I'll be out there as the sun's coming up just doing my thing.
Yeah, I still don't like yard work. I didn't like it as a kid. I don't like it now. I'll do it. Like, it's not a big deal. I mean, I have a gardener, and that's fine. But there's a lot of stuff that, that they don't do regularly, that things that pop up, I'm like, oh, I got to take care of that. So it's not a ton of yard work. But, yeah, there's some, yard work. I didn't like it as a kid. I don't like it now. So that's not crossing over to me. But I do understand like sort of the sense of DIY your house. I mean, I dig that. So technically, I guess I kind of like that stuff because, I like to modify things and make them look nice and things like that.
Yeah, sense of accomplishment.
Sure. Yeah. Well, something that I hated as a kid that I really like as an adult is booze. Let's go there. As a kid, couldn't stand it. Tastes gross. As an adult, yeah, dig it.
All day, every day, except in the morning in the shower.
Except in the morning. Yeah, you don't want to drink. You can't drink before noon, but yeah, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Right. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think. I mean, I was told once, and I'll go with another one that I couldn't stand as a kid that I really like as an adult. Is like sushi, and I just think that there's things that are more adult taste oriented. And I think as a kid, these things are absolutely disgusting. But as an adult, your taste change. And I always thought when people would say, "Oh, your taste changed," I thought it was more metaphorically. But I do think it's a physical thing. There's something about how the human body changes that you've grown to appreciate the flavor of something that you would have never appreciated as a kid. Now, booze obviously is not something that you want to give a child anyways. But the idea being that when anybody has ever was, let's say 13, 14, 15 and ever, tasted their parents' wine or, got a taste of hard liquor or beer, there were probably very few kids that are like, that whiskey's delicious, and of course, as an adult, I don't know if anybody's going to sit here and say like a shot of whiskey is delicious. It has flavor to it, and there is good whiskey and there's bad whiskey, and you can tell the difference. And the same with any kind of alcohol. So the idea that your taste changed, I think, is very real. Now, I think it applies more to food because, again, I like sushi. I think it's absolutely, I could eat sushi every day. It's delicious. As a kid, there's absolutely no fucking way I would eat that shit. Smelled bad. I didn't like the taste of it. It's gross. Why do you people eat this shit? Where's pizza? Why don't we have pizza here?
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, it's kind of like my parents used to make tomato salads, and I was like, that's so gross, just tomatoes by itself. But now Cookie will make like a tomato, mozzarella, olive oil, some like cracked ground pepper on top.
Oh, yeah.
Some basil, and I'm all about it. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, and I think that, it goes both ways. There was food that I liked as a kid that I don't like as an adult. I ate a lot of candy as a kid. I can't stand candy. I shouldn't say that. I mean, there's some candy I like, but generally speaking, yeah, if people offer me candy, I'm like, I don't want that. There's like 2 candies I like. I like Kit Kats, and I like anything that is like a Nestle's Crunch or a Crackle, like chocolate with crisp rice. Kit Kats are good. And I'm not even a big chocolate fan. When I was a kid, I ate a lot of like sour or fruit flavored. I don't say they're really fruit flavored because there's no fruit in these things. But you know what I'm saying? Like, Skittles or Starburst, things like that I was really into. Gross. Wouldn't even touch it now.
Yeah. Well, no, you hit on a great point. Yeah, people's taste does change. The one thing for me that has never changed, will never change, is watermelon. I think that's like the devil's food. I can't even smell it. And I can't smell because the doctor cauterized the whole inside of my nose when I was a kid. But for some reason, I can smell watermelon and it just turns my stomach. So even if I was starving, I'm still not eating watermelon.
Interesting. I like watermelon. I don't ever have watermelon. I never buy it. I don't have a problem with it. But I'm not a big fruit person to begin with. Like, I eat a lot of vegetables. Fruits always kind of turn me off. I think it has a lot to do with the texture. And I've said this before, I think, on another podcast, where it's like anything that is soft and mushy, even if that's ripe and that's the way it's supposed to be, it all tastes rotten to me.
Yeah.
The only exception to that are oranges. Like, I like oranges. I don't have a problem with oranges, and they're mushy. But like bananas, I like banana flavor. I can't stand the texture. So watermelon, to me, it's going to have some similar kind of issue with it. It's a little bit, I think, crispier than a lot of other fruits. So it doesn't bother me as much, but it's not something I would buy. But yeah, it's like with avocados. Like, Love would give me so much shit. Like, I hate avocados. How can you hate avocados? Like, everybody acts weird when I say that. I'm like, I don't know how you can eat those things. They're gross. They're basically mush. It's gross. And I eat that. Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, if Cookie could be any kind of fruit or vegetable or anything, she'd be an avocado. I was buying avocados for a couple hours ago. So when I was a kid, I mean, we lived out in the middle of nowhere. If you forgot the milk at the store, like that was a 30-minute trip
fucked.
One way. Yeah, it was in the sticks, like quasi banjo country. But I had my own little business where I had a weed eater, I had a chainsaw, and then after I do my schooling in the morning, there was I started driving when I was 12 years old. I'm past the statute of limitations, so whatever. I would like drive, I don't know, a mile or 2 miles to wherever my work site was, and I would clear cut land. And I made good money. And so even when at home, my parents would be like, hey, you need to go weed eat like that back 3 acres or whatever. I'd be like, oh, man. Fast forward to today, there's an abandoned house like right, behind our house. And every 3 weeks, I'm over there weed eating that guy's house. And it's great because it's like I get to see all of my hard work. It looks terrible. The grass and the weeds are 3 feet tall, and I leave this like wake of destruction in my path, and then I clean it all up, and it looks amazing.
Oh, so cool!
It's almost like a personal therapy session with the weed eater now.
Yeah, so going back to that yard work.
Yeah,
huh?
I dig it.
Yeah,
I'll put on a podcast and listen to Tucker or Rogan or any of these guys.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It makes the time go by quick, and there's that sense of, or personal sense of satisfaction.
Yeah, well, you're definitely somebody who's organized, and I think will find joy in something being clean and tidy.
100%.
Yeah, so I can understand that. I'm kind of like that too, but I'm definitely not going over to somebody else's house and doing some yard work like that. I'll do mine. You do yours.
Does it weird you out though when you go to people's houses and like you and I are both like organized, neat, tidy, quasi feng shui, but when you go to people's house and they are on the opposite end of that spectrum, does it weird you out?
It doesn't weird me out. I just think it's gross. Clean your shit.
Exactly.
I don't understand how people can live in that type of situation. And even if it's not their house could be clean if their yard is all screwed up and weeds growing everywhere. That would bother me.
It totally bothers me.
Yeah, it would bother me.
But when you walk into people's house, you're like, dude, the dishes have flies on them in your house.
That's a different story, I think. That's a different level of dysfunction, in my opinion.
Have some self-respect.
How many people's houses do you go to that have that? I know a few. I don't go to their houses too often.
No, yeah, that's it. That happens once and it's over.
Some people are comfortable with that. Like, they can totally handle that. I can't. There's no way. I can't even be visiting that environment, let alone live in it. Like, it's just gross.
Like, for my work's real estate stuff, like I see appraisal reports and there's like obviously the pictures in the back with the appraisers cruising through and snapping pictures with their Nikon. And I'll see like underwear on the ceiling fan. Like, why? Are you just like, are you yanking my chain? Are you yanking the appraiser's chain? Clean up your stuff, man. It takes all of about 5 seconds to take the clothes off the floor and even put them on the bed.
an important announcement for you, so stay tuned.
Yo, that's some next level shit, bruh.
So you got me. Big deal.
The internet's answer to a question no one asked. The Tilted Table with Sean and Joe.
Folks, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Tilted Table, the internet's answer to a question that no one asked. I am Sean Landon Clark.
And I am Joey Joe, the Fracky Mac.
And you can reach us at the Tilted Table 1 on all major social media. Like, subscribe, ring bells.
All the bells.
And if you hated this episode, wait about 15 years, you might like it.
Either that or I'll come weed eat your front yard.